Okay, first we will look at the S&P 500 index. Okay, and previously I've already mentioned that the S&P 500 index is already on a very strong uptrend. So you're supposed to be expecting it to continue its upward movement. All right. So, but there are definitely bound to be some expect to have some pullbacks, to happen, few days or 1 or 2 weeks, before it carry on in uptrend. Okay, so those are just minor pullbacks, something like this, no minor pullbacks, and then it carry on. All right, so you should be expecting that, and the S&P 500 has been on the run since November. Can you see that now? It's been running there with no really deep noticeable pullbacks. Okay, so you should be expecting over the next 1 or 2 weeks. So similarly for Dow Jones, Nasdaq, they are all having the same similar pattern. For our Asia market, if you look at the Nikkei, okay, the Japanese market, okay, it has been rallied for the past few days, since last week, okay, making new highs. So it's a very strong market for the Japanese market. And what we have for the Hang Seng, okay, so Hang Seng has been rallying very strongly for the past 3 weeks really. If I do it on the weekly chart, you can see that now we are on the third week of rally. Okay, and probably it might need another 1 or 2 weeks, right, before it approach this major resistance here, about 29,000 that I've mentioned before. Okay, so if you calculate 1 or 2 weeks US, 1 or 2 weeks, so most likely we should be expecting a deeper correction, not correction, like a pullback or consolidation in 1 or 2 weeks time. Okay, so we just have to monitor our position. Okay, so short-term traders should also be mindful of their positions. Okay, so China market similarly on the weekly chart, right, it's been rallying for the past 3 weeks, same as Hong Kong. Switching over to the daily chart, so this is what we are seeing, okay, for the Shanghai index. And one of the strongest one in Asia, our Vietnamese market, this since last week is continued to make its all-time high. Okay, but today finally it has a down day. Okay, so mainly it's because it's testing its pre-COVID high. Okay, done here in 2018. Okay, so that was its high point. So now it's currently testing this. So this is definitely it's going to be some major selling happening. So for our Singapore market, STI Straits Times Index. Okay, so since last year I've been mentioning there will be one last rally. Okay, one last rally, and it finally came starting like last week. All right, so it's been consolidating for the past 3 days sideways. Okay, very quiet. So I should be expecting another 1 or 2 days thrust movement to test this upper trend line resistance here. Okay, somewhere here, or even test this line here about 3080. Okay, so so just bear in mind now, okay, 1 or 2 weeks, most probably we might be starting to have a pullback for the global markets. So on the side, like for example, Bitcoin or the commodities market, there's some pullback. All right, okay, some deep selling happened in the Bitcoin. So as I mentioned before, once it hit to a euphoric mode, right, you have to be very careful of your position. Okay, so something like this, break new low, you have to sell and take profit already. Okay, so that is what happened for Bitcoin. And we have our spot gold market. Okay, so here is the so-called intermediate resistance. Okay, it tested there last week, and then it has some deep selling, retest this 200-day moving average. So this is somehow of a anyway, this is to be expected since it's in a much bigger consolidation phase. Okay, starting from here to here, which is like in a range between 1750 all the way to the top here of about 2080. So this is a consolidation range, so it's like up down big swing movement is to be expected. Okay, so on the side, the only reason I can think of for all this sell down is because the stock market is too hot. Okay, Nikkei market is hot, your Hong Kong, China market is hot, US is on an uptrend. Investors basically just sell their gold or Bitcoin, which are already making profit, and rebalance into stocks. Okay, so that is mostly the reasons for funds to cause such a big movements. Okay, so for the sector to watch out, okay, we should be looking more at the banking sector. All right, so I just glanced through, right. This is DBS. Okay, you can see it's on the uptrend really. All right, and it's quite strong. Similarly, OCBC, the same thing. So in such a movement, right, there could be probably one or two more higher days or up days. Okay, making new highs. This is UOB. If we look at other countries like National Australian Bank is having similar pattern. ANZ Bank similarly, okay, making new highs. In the US, we have our like Citibank, Morgan Stanley. Okay, so globally, these are some of the sector strength. Okay, globally, this is BID bank in Vietnam, military bank of Vietnam. It's all running very strong. So if we look at Hong Kong, which I'm going to start, okay, the Hong Kong banks, due to previous sell down, right, seems to be lagging. Okay, now but with Hong Kong starting to make new highs, Hong Kong bank should be in the forefront. Okay, meaning to say if Hong Kong were to start another 2 more weeks of rally, right, I think it will require the strength of the banks to push up higher. Okay, so this is HSBC Bank. After this gap up, right, there's some momentum strength in here, so it's been consolidating sideways very nicely. Okay, so should be watching out for this to break on the upside. Okay, so similarly, most of the banks are having a similar pattern. Okay, so this ICBC making a very similar pattern to Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank. So although HSBC is in terms of pattern, relative strength is stronger because it is trading above the 200-day moving average. Okay, so do watch out for that. There are other banks that are stronger, like I think this Hang Seng Bank. So those are the few banks like HSBC Bank, Hang Seng Bank, or ICBC. You should be monitoring them for breakout to move on the upside. So this is mainly the sector strength on the global. Another sector that is strong, okay, is the insurance sector, mainly in the Hong Kong. Okay, where we have our China Life. There's some recent big movement. We have AIA, has been running for some time. Okay, and Ping An, starting to move lately. So on our Singapore side, we only have this Great Eastern that is listed. Okay, so Great Eastern has just started to break out. Okay, so this is something that you all can watch to trade for higher. Okay, or even for long-term position. If you look at the weekly chart, right, the previous high was like $32. So currently it's trading like 2065. Okay, so once this trends up or turns up, right, it tends to move for quite some time on. All right, so this you can watch out for this. Okay, Silver Lake Axis, okay, had a move today, or in fact starting from yesterday. Okay, so I would say this is also just started to move. Okay, as it broke out from yesterday's intermediate resistance. Okay, so what I should be expecting of this, right, if this one is really to be a turn trend, okay, turning to be an uptrend, and the characteristics of an uptrend, right, is that it should be making higher high, and this line is its previous high. Okay, so what happens is for this to be a uptrend, right, we should be expecting it to break above this 35 cents. Meaning you say it can reach 36, 37, even to 40 cents. Okay, in the next move or next run. Okay, so this I will say there is some further upside for this Silver Lake. Okay, so those who have, you can hold on to it. And if you can look for some pullbacks or something to enter, you can also look into entering this stock. This is Silver Lake Axis. Those who like less volatility, slow rise, I mean the Hong Kong REIT market seems to be turning up too. Okay, this is champion REIT. Okay, it's doing a nice pattern, so it's most likely it's going to slowly trend upwards. On our Singapore REIT sites, I'm not too sure, but it seems like the hospitality seems to be like going to make a move and in probably this week or next week. Okay, so this is Fraser Hospitality. This is a nice cup pattern. Okay, so now it's forming a handle pattern, so you should start to monitor this Fraser Hospitality Trust. Okay, Escort REIT had a move today, so similarly is doing a cup, and a handle pattern. Alright, so with this, right, if you can really break above 115, 116, right, most likely you can hit like 130, 135, or even 140, like the pre-COVID days. Okay, Far East Hospitality Trust, similarly it has been consolidating for like 2 months, coming to 3 months. So being such a flat pattern and more volume coming in, picking up. Okay, so very likely this is going to start to turn up also. Alright, so there is a certain sector strength here in play. Fraser Hospitality, Escort, and Far East Hospitality. This is SIA Engineering. Okay, I wouldn't say like next week, but probably in 2 to 3 weeks time. Okay, this is probably going to be positive. Mainly if we look at the weekly chart. Okay, we have a very nice 3 weeks rally, and then it's been consolidating sideways, a flat pattern. This is a nice pattern. Okay, so once it's able to break above this $2.07 to 2.10, right, most likely it's going to make a run. Okay, thereafter. Genting Singapore. Okay, so this is it has been consolidating sideways for some time. Okay, and then we are starting to see some volume picking up. Okay, so and as price starts to creep up, so this is a good sign. Okay, so you just have to watch out for this. So these are mainly the few stocks we should watch up over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Further or longer than that, probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks time, we should be monitoring them. Okay, now why I say this is AEM. Okay, I've mentioned previously here the breakout. This is likely going to continue to run, so it's been running for like 1.5 weeks. Okay, so this is showing a sign of pullback, so meaning to say we should just let it rest, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, and then we see how this one turns out, and then look for opportunity. Okay, Valuetronics similarly, big move, big breakout, so same thing, we just have to wait for it to pull back. So this is mainly like the next 2 to 3 weeks time. Okay, and this sector is quite nice. I think I've been hearing a lot of people asking me, hey, this one can trade really or not? So I would say this sector is up and coming. Okay, your UG Healthcare, MedTech, Riverstone, Top Growth. So recently has this move. Okay, it's a nice rounding pattern. Okay, so so like I mentioned before, now I'm talking about stocks that we want to monitor right in the next 2 to 3 weeks time. So we just have to wait for this to consolidate, pull back, and then we look for a nice setup or nice pattern, nice squeeze, quiet to go long. All right, so this is UG Healthcare. Similarly, for some of the other stocks like Riverstone, having the same pattern. So I'm not too sure why this sector is rebounding back up. Probably because it has it went down quite a bit already, or maybe because of the new strain that's happening, or US COVID virus is exploding, not uncontrollable. So I'm not too sure why. Or maybe they are expecting the upcoming result in probably 1 or 2 months time, right? It's going to be fantastic again. All right, so this is Top Growth. Mainly this one is more like a fake out, fake people that is going to go downtrend and then it rebounded back up. Okay, so you should watch this, in the next 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks. hopefully it can do one more thrust. Okay, test 240 and then bounce back. If it does that right, I mean retest this 240 and then comes back down. If it does that, it is a good sign. Okay, it shows signs of a reversal. Okay, so we just have to monitor this in as the weeks goes by. Whereas for medtech, though it's in the same sector, I'm still not convinced of this. Mainly because it's been tagging on the low side. Okay, medtech has been tagging on the low side and has not done any real rally upwards. Okay, so on my experience from over the past few years, right, stocks that usually after all this down move and did this kind of trending, right, tagging along the line, right, tend to break down very violently. Okay, so I would not recommend medtech lah because of such a pattern. But I mean, if you have inside info that this is going to make huge amount of earnings and great results, I mean, you can hold on to it lah. So, but overall, this pattern personally, I don't really like it. Okay, so that's all I have. Those are the stocks that I've mentioned, and we should be watching out over the next 1 to 2 weeks for movement. Okay, so do you guys have any questions to ask? Any stocks to look at?
How about Big Plus?
Okay, this has been a very big or tremendous move. I mean, like what, 15 cents all the way to like what, 70 cents.
76.
So it's a crazy movement, and definitely a lot of people are trapped or died in here. Okay, so yeah, I mean this type of pattern, base movement or base consolidation seems nice. Okay, but I would not expect another such kind of movement to happen. It's most likely it's going to be up, down, a lot of jagged movement. Okay, so you have to watch for this like 32.5 cents to break above. Yeah, so I'll say, yeah, probably there's some upside to it, in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, so but I would not expect a big upside lah. I mean, in terms of this type of base, most likely probably to like next resistance about 42 cents. Somewhere here. Yeah. Okay.